Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to our series of videos for trigonometry. This is trigonometric functions chapter from the additional mathematics GCSE O-level syllabus. Let's begin. The first thing that we're going to do is trigonometric ratios of special angles. The three special angles that we have are 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and 30 degrees. We're going to see how the SOHCAHTOA or the cosine tan of these angles are, and then secondly we are going to take a look at the basic angles as well, which is the reference angle or your alpha. So let's begin. The first triangle that we have over here has an angle of 45 degrees as mentioned in the red color. Now through Pythagoras theorem, which is a square plus b square is equals to c square, we took out the three sides, hypotenuse being under root 2. Now if we need to find out the cos of 45, cos of 45 will be adjacent upon hypotenuse, so it will become 1 over under root 2. Similarly, when we take out the sine of 45 and tan of 45, it will be as follows. Now we can see that sine of 45 is the same as cos of 45, and we can see that tan of 45 is 1 because it doesn't include the hypotenuse at all. Now, when we see that cos 45 and sine 45 are equal, then this will tell us that basically 45 is a complementary angle, and we can say that complementary angles, as they both add up to 90, they can have a similar value. We're going to look into this a little bit later as well. Now let's move forward to the second triangle that we have, in which the top angle is 30 degrees and the second angle at the left corner is 60 degrees. Through Pythagoras theorem, we take out the three sides of the angle. Hypotenuse is under root 2, and one of the sides opposite to the 60 degrees is under root 3, and opposite to 30 degrees it is 1. So in order to take out cos, sine, and tan, we're simply going to use the SOHCAHTOA. Let's remember the SOHCAHTOA. Sine will be opposite upon hypotenuse, cos will be adjacent upon hypotenuse, and tan will be opposite upon adjacent. So the cosine and tan of 60 are as follows. And lastly, we're going to take a look at the cosine and tan of 30 degrees, which will be done in a similar way, and thus they are as follows. Now as you can see over here, the sine 30 is coming as half. Sine 30 is basically opposite upon hypotenuse. Now if we write it 1 over under root 2, and we need to remove this under root from the denominator, we're going to multiply it by under root 2 over under root 2, and we get 2 over 4, which will be actually half. So this is how we get sine 30. These are the ratios of special angles. They remain constant all the time, and thus these are to be remembered by you. If not, then you can simply use a calculator to get them every time. The second thing we'll be doing in this video will be the identities for complementary angles. Now as you can see this figure right here, I have divided a square into two triangles. Now when we focus on one of the triangles, we have a right angle, and then the second thing is we have an angle which is theta, and the third angle is 90 degrees minus theta. How is it 90 degrees minus theta? When we have this angle as theta, that means the alternate angle on the other side, this will also be theta, and thus as they all form 90 degrees, so we're going to have this as 90 degrees minus theta. Now moving forward, I have named these three sides C as the hypotenuse and A and B as the two sides, which are basically equal as well. Now the first identity that we have, 90 degrees minus theta will be equals to cos theta. In order to prove this identity, first of all, let's take a look. If we want to find a sine of 90 degrees minus theta, we are going to take A over C, because that's the opposite upon hypotenuse. And if we want to take cos theta, then it will again be adjacent upon hypotenuse, which will be A over C, and thus it tells us that in a right angle triangle, sine 90 minus theta will be equals to cos theta. The second identity which we have is Sine theta is equals to cos 90 degrees minus theta, which is basically the reverse process. But let's take a look at how it happens. If we want to find sine theta, then we're going to take it as b over c as opposite upon hypotenuse. And if we want to find cos 90 minus theta, that will be adjacent upon hypotenuse, that will be equals to b over c as well. And that's why we can prove that sine theta will be equals to cos 90 minus theta, and they are complementary angles. The last identity that we have is including tan. Now, in order to prove tan 90 minus theta will be equals to 1 over tan theta, let's take a look what will be tan 90 minus theta. Tan 90 minus theta will be a over b as opposite upon adjacent, whereas tan theta will be equals to b, whereas tan theta will be equals to b over a. Now, if we simply try to convert it, so it will become a over b, and because we have a 1 in the numerator, it will become a over b, and that's how this is also proven to be equal. Let's attempt a question that involves these identities. The first step, the question that we have in the screen is cos 20 is divided by cos 20 plus sine 70. Now, if we want to convert this sine to cos, what we're going to simply do is cos sine 90 minus 20 will make sine 70, and we know that 90 minus theta will be equals to cos theta, so cos 20 will be equals to cos 20 plus cos 20 again, making 2 cos 20. And when we have cos 20 over 2 cos 20, these can cancel out and we'll be left with half. That's how you use these identities. The third thing that we're going to be doing in this video will be the basic angle. The basic angle is a reference angle, and as you can see that I have drawn a Cartesian plane over here. We have 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is this, the second is this, the third is this, and the fourth one is this. Now, the basic angle or the reference angle remains constant in all the 4 quadrants, and all the other angles, it depends on the basic angle. Let's take an example and say that the basic angle is 30. So when we draw the basic angle over here in the first quadrant, we will draw it this way. Why are we drawing it this way and not this way? In the first quadrant, we are drawing it this way and not this way because the first condition of basic angle is that it will be formed with or against the x-axis. So we have this as the x-axis, and that's why we'll be drawing the basic angle this way and not the other way. Now, when we have drawn the basic angle as 30 in the first quadrant, if we are asked to draw the basic angle 30 in the second quadrant, we'll be again drawing it with the x-axis. Now, for the third quadrant, we'll be drawing it with the x-axis, which will be over here. And for the fourth quadrant, we'll be drawing it over here, which will be with the x-axis. So we need to keep our basic angle with the x-axis always. Now, in the first quadrant, if we are asked to find, this is basically, the basic angle is basically our alpha. But if we are asked to find the angle x for alpha 30, then that will be the same because it is drawn, because it starts from 0 to 360 going right here, right? So that's why if we are asked to draw alpha 30 and find the value of x or angle in the first quadrant, it will be the same as the alpha. But if we are asked to draw the basic angle in the second quadrant as we drew over here, then our alpha will be 30. However, our theta will be this whole angle starting from the 0 till this line of alpha. So our angle basically will be 180 minus 30, which will be 150 degrees. Same way, if we are asked to draw alpha in the third quadrant, then we're going to draw it this way. And what will be our theta then? Theta will always start from 0 to go till this, and it will be 180 plus 30, which will be 210 degrees. And if we are asked to draw the alpha in the fourth quadrant as 30 and tell the corresponding value of theta, then we'll draw it in this way. And we'll start our theta from the 0 going till this, which will be 330, as we subtracted 30 from 360. So these are the four quadrants, and that's how alpha is drawn. There are two conditions of alpha. The first condition is that it should always be an angle with the x-axis, and the second condition is that as it will be always be with the x-axis, it will be an acute angle. It will be an acute angle and it will be less than 90 degrees. And the third condition is it will always be positive. Now, what does a negative angle mean? We're going to look at it in a bit. Previously, we were drawing out angles from 0 to 360 in an anti-clockwise direction. If we try to draw our angle in a clockwise direction, say from here to here, then that will be negative way. In a clockwise direction, angles are always negative, but alpha remains positive. Let's take the same example of alpha being 30, our basic angle being 30. So if we start drawing alpha from the fourth quadrant, then we are going to draw it 30 degrees over here, but our theta will then be negative because we are starting from the fourth quadrant and going till the first quadrant in a clockwise direction, and that's why our theta will be negative 30. As we draw it in the third quadrant, then alpha will remain as 30 degrees. It will always remain positive, but our theta will be negative 150 degrees. And same goes over here. We're going to draw it over here.
And in the last quadrant.
So angles coming in a clockwise direction are always negative, but alpha remains positive, and angles coming in an anti-clockwise direction are always positive. The question that we have is alpha is given as 20 degrees, and we need to find all the angles, corresponding angles of theta between 0 and 360 degrees. So when we draw a Cartesian plane, we're going to draw alpha in all the four quadrants in this manner, and all these angles will be 20 degrees, making with x axes. Now if we say, so then the first quadrant that we have, the value of theta will be same as alpha as 20 degrees. In the second quadrant that we have, we're going to take the value as 180 minus 20, which will be 160 degrees. Then the third value in the third quadrant, we're going to add 20 to 180, which will make 200 degrees. And the last value will be 360 degrees minus 20 degrees, which will be 340 degrees. So that's how you calculate the corresponding angles of x or theta when alpha is given, or vice versa.